It's been a really busy week in politics, both here and overseas, as he does every Saturday. Joining me in the studio from Bondi Partners, former Howard Government Minister Peter McGauran. Pete, how are you? Let's start in the UK. Have you seen anything like this? Liz Truss, 44 days.
No, perhaps in Italy and a couple of other struggling democracies. Nothing as in the UK. Paradoxically, Tim, Liz Truss was a great friend of Australia. When she was Trade Minister, she concluded a free trade agreement at record speed and against many of the UK farmers 2 years ago. When she was Foreign Affairs Minister or Secretary of State, then she concluded helped the AUKUS deal, which is, of course, the British, American and Australian sharing of nuclear-propelled submarines. So she was a great friend of Australia, but unfortunately a hopeless Prime Minister.
Boris Johnson, look, this would be one of the great comebacks. This would be superimposed.
Yes, and in record time, from being dumped to returning within 3 months. Still, you wouldn't think he's going to start hot favourite though, Tim. He could do it. It's hard to read it completely from here. There's a risk with him, but there are known risks, and that's why he is at least on the short list. They know what they're getting. Some of the others, they should know what they're getting, but after Liz Truss, they'll be worried about the unpredictability of the person.
Oh, absolutely. Now, will her rapid demise, is it a cautionary tale for our Labor government, who are, heading into some very big financial moments?
No, it's a good point. If you're too radical at a time like this of such economic uncertainty, then you take huge gambles. But that's not in the nature of Anthony Albanese, nor even the Treasurer Jim Chalmers. Their challenge is they'll be too cautionary or too timid because Australia's budgetary issues, both in deficit and debt, and all the cost of living pressures with inflation going over 8%, with blowouts in the National Disability Insurance Scheme, in Medicare, hospitals desperately needing more funding, aged care. Their challenge will be that they don't start tackling the debt and the deficit. If they don't, and if they're too hesitant, then they'll pay a heavy price.
Yeah, a bad budget can cost government in a big way politically.
Yes, and they're not going to fix it all on next Tuesday night. No one expects them to, but they've got to reassure the markets and the voters that that they do have the courage of their convictions and are prepared to cut spending. That's the only thing, or the first thing at least, that the markets will go straight to. Have they got the conviction and courage to cut spending? They've got election commitments they must fulfil, we all understand that, but they can't just blindly keep spending money that they don't have.
Well, he's a bit of an unknown quantity for a lot of people, Jim Chalmers. What about for him in a political sense? What are the stakes for him?
The big question for him will be, the answer won't be fully apparent next Tuesday, but it'll give us a good clue, is he going to be a landmark treasurer of the Costello Keating stature, or is he going to be the run-of-the-mill? And he should be good. He's had a background in government before he became a Member of Parliament and Treasurer. Against that, though, he hasn't had much of if any, background in small business or in the commercial world. So he is an apparatchik, but he seems to be a rational, sensible, middle-of-the-road economist. The pressure's on, for sure.
Absolutely.